So, when you're remembering books that you've read in the past, I know reading is already a crazy thing to start off with. You want to scare my generation? Just say books, and oh god, they'll be scared. Sure, people will read stuff, but never truly go back. I used to read a lot as a kid, sometimes by force, sometimes by my own will. And as much as I want to talk about book series like, oh, I could talk about the Art of Whoopee Kid or the Big Nate books, I remember two series that I used to love and that I would always get the next book no matter what when I saw it. Origami Yoda and the Jedi Academy series, mainly the ones written by a certain author that my name is looking out for. Now, here's the thing though. I asked my friends which one, and well, they voted for uh, Origami Yoda. It was actually one of the biggest sleeps ever. And originally, I wanted to combine every single book and be like, all right, all 6 books covered in one. And then I got to the first book, and I had so much to say on the first book alone that I'm basically just going to be covering the first 3 books in this audio and then the following books there. Which is kind of nice because I genuinely think that, like, the first 3 books can be its own little trilogy, and then the last 3 books can be its own little trilogy. I guess I'm going to start off with what is an Origami Yoda. Origami Yoda is a series made by Tom Engelback. Oh, I'm going to fuck up his name so bad. And the Origami Yoda fans that exist are going to find me and tell me you can't say the author's last name. Like, I'm sorry, but it's going to be like this for a while. If you are ever interested in recommending the series, I'm going to say this now. Get the books, whether on Kindle or physical. I had to go to the audiobook except for the 5th book. And I can say that the 5th book was the better experience because a lot of Origami Yoda is based off the way it presents itself, which I will get to. But if you're going to go to the series, I highly recommend reading the books and not the audiobook. While the audiobook I had was good, it definitely was unique, and it wasn't just some guy reading a voice. It was actually multiple actors reading the voice. It's actually really good, and they actually have the actors. Well, let's get started with explaining how the book works. Origami Yoda are sort of written by case files, quote unquote. They're basically mini stories that basically sort of answer a question or have a serving purpose overall. And I guess I'm going to start with the first book. Let's meet Dwight. Now, Dwight is the weird kid. And, well, he's just a weird kid. Like, there's an entire chapter dedicated to Dwight's weirdness and 10 things he's done. One of them being that in the 3rd grade, Tommy's mom, our main character, and when I mean main character, I mean Tommy, not Tommy's mom. We're not going to follow Tommy's mom. Tommy's basically the guy who writes the entire file. So, Dwight's just weird, and I don't mean that he's weird, I mean that Dwight's autistic, and I'm not saying that because, my headcanon is that Dwight is, no, dude, no. Author himself straight up said, Dwight is autistic. He is autistic. There's, no going around. He doesn't explicitly say it, but Dwight's autistic. He's just not diagnosed, which honestly makes the first 3 books for Dwight just hit really hard as someone who is on the spectrum. And so is our antagonist Harvey. Like, Harvey is also on the spectrum, which makes certain interactions just 10 times funnier in my opinion. Absolute cinema, by the way. It's crazy. So, book 1, which is The Strange Case of Origami Yoda. Yoda is paper. Well, it's basically one of the biggest enigmas ever. Book 1 can best be described as Dwight starts a cult. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, if you put all the things together, where Origami Yoda is this sort of religious figure that people go to advice to, and it's the first thing that people tell you to do, and people will always gather around it and tell you and go to it for answers, and they worship Origami. He made a cult. Inadvertently, Dwight made a cult for Origami Yoda. Yes, I know it's a bunch of middle schoolers, but it's still a cult. Which, it's crazy to think that. So the first book mainly focuses on stories where there's certain stories where it's like, oh my god, something bad happened to me. I better ask Origami Yoda. And Origami Yoda will give them sagely advice, and Dwight's voice is like, for Yoda's absolutely bad. And Harvey points this out and just does better Yoda impressions. And just starts quoting a bunch of the Star Wars like lines that Yoda says accurately. Again, Harvey's also autistic, and he's our main antagonist for the first 2 books. Well, and also the 6th book, but again, we're not talking about the 6th book today. Right now we're focusing on book 1, The Strange Case of Origami Yoda, also known as Dwight Starts a Cult. Dwight Starts a Cult. Absolute cinema. The thing about the first book is that it feels like it was meant to be a one-off story. Like, the ending itself basically is like, it's basically everyone gets everything. And in a way, I think it was sort of meant to be like that. A sort of like nice place ending for the book. Some highlights and some characters that will be coming back are Tommy, the main guy who writes the files and basically starts writing everything. Kellen, who doodles on the file. And this is very important. And this is why I said, get the book. For the love of God, get the book. I don't care. I love... No. For the love of God, get the audio book. If you want to listen to the main story. The book adds Kellen's doodles, which adds so much more stuff. There's so many running gags in the doodles that I can't mention because I don't remember all of them because I didn't get the books. So for the love of God, check your Second and Charles, check your local library, check anywhere for the physical books. I'm highly, highly recommending them. Do not listen to the audiobooks. While they're good, they don't capture the entire experience of the books. On my knees, begging, do not... Please, do it for Kellen. Even though those doodles are kind of okay, do it for him, please. Anyways, back to characters. I already spoke about Harvey, our main antagonist. Harvey in book 1 basically likes to say, nuh-uh, to like Origami Yoda. So where it'll be like, oh yeah, Origami Yoda's advice was this. And then Harvey would comment on the file saying, that was fucking stupid. And then Tommy will comment, no, it wasn't. It's actually pretty brilliant. Let's talk about one of the stories, which is Kellen pissing his pants. Absolute cinema, which sounds stupid. Helen pissed his pants. He's pissing his pants. Okay, he didn't piss his pants, but he gets water right there where it got stained, and Lance is in there with him, and he's like, yeah, I know you didn't piss your pants. But, he doesn't say piss. I know you didn't pee your pants. It's crazy how this joke comes back full circle. And I'm not going to say how. And then Dwight was in there and in the bathroom stall. Don't ask. He was just there with Origami Yoda. Just there. No reason. He just happens to be in the bathroom. And Origami Yoda tells him, basically tells him to spray the rest of himself. That way it doesn't look like he pissed himself. After all, if you get everywhere wet, no one will ask why your pants are wet. And I'm just imagining that it's basically just that one exchange where it's like, I didn't pee myself. It just was a water stain. Because Harvey would definitely be that guy and be like, you pissed yourself, didn't you? I'm focusing too much on this one section, but it's basically like, aside from Tommy's story, which is basically the first time we see Yoda, this is the true first consistent pattern of Yoda being wise. The first time Tommy does it is like interfering and saving his butt. I guess it's always been a main question of, is Tommy, like, not Tommy, like, is Yoda real? Like, there's multiple stories where it's like Yoda could be real, but I mean, shit, Dwight just could be fucking with them. And it basically all leads like to the end where it's like it's really truly hard to tell if Dwight's just fucking with everyone, or if Dwight just has this massive IQ play. And like, keep in mind, book 1, you can just read book 1 and never touch the series again because everyone got what they wanted. Harvey got pissed off. Like, in the end, it's just... It's a nice book, and before it starts getting a bit insane. Might as well continue with the other characters. I mentioned Lance before. For some reason, the audiobook gives him like this surfer dude voice. I don't know why. They just do. Then next up we have Amy. I don't really have anything else important to say for Amy. She's Lance's love interest. She has some interesting things, but most of the time Amy's with other characters. Rolanda, who is just funny to have there. And I'm just going to spoil her ending because it's the funniest shit ever in book 6. Because quite literally, her ending is just, Rolanda didn't take none of Yoda's advice, so nothing changed for her. Basically saying, you didn't get no character development, but we have to mention you, I guess. Which, I don't know, I just think that's funny. Like, imagine being so insignificant, but you still have to be included because you did contribute. Who else am I missing, honestly? Well, I know I'm missing someone important, the GOAT, but we'll get to him. We'll get to the GOAT later. Lance, Amy. Oh yeah, Sarah. Sarah's Tommy's love interest. Love interest. God. His love interest. She's there. I'd say in book 1, Sarah's much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sarah is Dwight's neighbor, and she's used to his weirdness. But I personally don't think Sarah doesn't become her own character until book 2. Not to say that she's just a bad character, but it's more of like Sarah becomes way more important in book 2 and especially book 3. But one of the biggest questions is Origami Yoda actually connected to the Force? And it's crazy to ask that because it's like, you really have to answer the question, how much... And Q. Well, Quinn. I'm just gonna call him Q. I'm sorry. His grandma called him Q. I forgot about Q, even though he has my goat. You know what? Screw it. Let's talk about the goat. Mr. Good Clean Fun. It's Soapy the Monkey. Once again, I need you to get the audiobook. To not get the audiobook, get the physical book. Because the physical book does not do it justice. The audiobook doesn't do it justice. Because in the physical book, Kellen writes Soapy the Monkey cursing. He is throwing like a bunch of bad words there. So many bad words. For a monkey called Soapy, he sure has a sailor mouth. And for some reason, in every single book, Mr. Good Clean Fun shows up at least once. Every time, he just shows up. Like for the first book, he's there for Q's story. That Cheeto Hagen basically is the reason why Q gets redeemed and basically becomes the GOAT for that book. And then in book 2, he shows up once again to talk about the fundraiser. And then he somehow, in book 3, I'm like, he's not going to... No, he shows up again. Mr. Good Clean Fun always shows up. Motherfucker is William Afton. Except he's not. His name is Adam. Lame ass ending. Regardless, though, I will always hype up Mr. Good Clean Fun because he is the only human character we see in picture. Like a straight up person. That is a person. And Sophie the Monkey is an actual monkey that the author bought. Absolute cinema. But regardless, though, I will always love Mr. Good Clean Fun and Soapy the Monkey. But seriously, get the physical book just to see Soapy cursing. Please, for the love of God. Anyways, back to the big question. Is Origami Yoda real? Well, he's real. Yeah, he's paper. No shit, he's real. But is he, like, actually sagely advice? Or is Dwight smart? Or is Dwight just fucking with everyone? Because at the ending of book 1, Dwight basically manages to convince... Well, Yoda manages to convince Tommy to go dance with Sarah. And yeah, she wants to. The problem is that they don't know how to dance. Except way back when, earlier in the book, Dwight was telling everyone to learn the twist. And in this book, we canonically know that Harvey has bought all Spider-Man soundtracks. Or at least he's bought the Spider-Man Tree soundtrack. So that means Harvey watches Spider-Man 3. I wonder if he plays Rivals. Regardless, though, Dwight is telling everyone to learn the twist because Yoda told him to. And you'll never guess what song plays the twist. And all the characters we've seen know the twist and do it. Even if they do it shit, they know how to do the twist. You don't know how to do the twist. But how would Dwight know that unless he purposely planned that out? Like there's no way Dwight, and even then, this is Dwight. Dwight is like one of the craziest. Well, I guess Dwight is Dwight. Like the guy is just. He will do the most unhinged stuff is the thing. And it's like, sometimes there's no explanation for it. He just does it. But at the same time, though, as a kid, I really related to Dwight. He kind of was like whom I related to because I was the weird kid a bit. But it was always nice. And knowing now that Dwight is autistic, it's always nice, honestly. And I can see a lot of his traits, unironically, just be a child who should have been diagnosed and gotten the help he needed. I know I've been focusing on book 1, but honestly, it's the later books that just make Dwight really seem like someone who should have been diagnosed. Because honestly, he could have gotten the help he needed. Even then, I think Dwight's smarter than he looks. Maybe Dwight did plan all this. I mean, we know this because Dwight is fully aware that everyone is using him. And they only really talk to him because he has Yoda, who gives him the advice that they want to hear, that they want. No one comes to Dwight to be Dwight. And I think that's kind of crazy. Because it doesn't really answer the question. I think it's up to interpretation. But it gets to the point where you don't really know if Dwight is really that guy who really has those 500 master IQ plays. Or if Origami Yoda truly is just really connected to the Force and really is magical. Because we know Dwight doesn't have TV. So how will he know certain things? So I want to make a joke and saying, if Origami Yoda was made earlier, he could have prevented so many incidents. I don't really think he could. But in a way, I recommend at least reading the first book. Even if you're not a big Star Wars fan. Because genuinely speaking, it's a nice standalone book. It's nice stability. It could work as a simple one-off story. And I think that was the plan. Because when we get to book 2, it feels like we're starting a brand new saga. And in a way, I always call books 1 through 3 the Dwight saga. Like, this is some like MCU shit. But I genuinely do think that this is the start of something brand new. Even though you could say that the previous book put up on it. So, Dwight gets... suspended is probably the proper term. Yeah, suspended from school. Because as Origami Yoda, he tried warning a girl named Jen, hey, 0 hours coming. And unfortunately, yeah, that was seen as a threat. Like, you can't just go around saying, doom hour comes. Yeah, no, fuck no. You kidding me? And Jen wasn't going to report it, but spoiler alert, Harvey basically said, don't do it. And yeah, Dwight has basically been kicked out of school until he can be fully transferred to basically a correctional facility. Not a correctional facility, but a school to help him get help. But it's not going to help him. So Tommy then goes, yo, Yoda, what do we do? Make a case file, you shall. That was a shitty Yoda impression. And so the second case file starts, basically proving, hey, Origami Yoda is really helpful. He helped us. Here's some stories, and here's what happened afterwards. There's a lot of new characters that are basically also returning characters from this point forward. We have Remy, who's a Kellen simp. Like, she's diver down bad for this guy. and it's like very, very bad. I mean, but then again, Kellen is down bad for like Rolanda, who's just does not care for him, honestly. Like unironically, Kellen, unironically, Kellen is just basically Kellen and Remy are just that one meme where it's like, so where it's like, why do girls, why do guys, why do women like guys who are mean to them? Why do women, that meme, where sort of like, why is this and this? And then I'm just imagining in the corner, Dwight, purple. I'm laughing for no goddamn good reason. It's not even that funny, but it's just their relationship. Murky, who basically has what we call Murkyisms. Murky basically has words that he says that basically means what he means. It's not confirmed if Murky's on the spectrum, but I can headcanon him if I want to. It's my Star Wars story. Who's going to stop me? Disney? Which, if Disney's listening to this, hey, I mean, you guys own Star Wars. You could, make this a series. I mean, I'm just saying, I would watch an Origami Yoda series, I mean, I'm just saying that'd be pretty cool, pretty stooky, if you know what I mean. No one would get that. No one would get what stooky is unless they've read the books. Seriously, go read the books. I know I'm sounding insane by saying this, but for the love of God, at least read one of them, please. Please become Origami. Oh yeah, right. Right, back to book 2. And I guess our main antagonist, once again, being Harvey. Yeah, he's back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Except he bought Darth Paper. Darth Paper. And he's basically meant to be... Yeah, he starts... Guess. You'll never guess who he is. And basically he's meant to be the antithesis to Origami Yoda. Because in the first book, Harvey made a better Yoda, but it wasn't like Dwight's Yoda. Where Dwight's definitely, bad, it was unique. There was only one of Dwight's, and his design was unique. While Harvey's was everywhere else's, and Harvey's Yoda basically told Tommy, yeah, don't ask her out, she'll make a fool out of you, Lamau. Which, knowing what we know in the final book, everything makes sense, honestly, with the foreshadowing in mind. I mean, I still don't feel bad for Harvey because he kind of is an asshole in these books. Well, at least in the first... Well, he still is a jerk. But, like, in books 1 and 2, he's like an asshole. In books 3 through 5, he's basically like, kind of like a guy who just gives you shit, but you keep him around because he's your friend. Because we all need that one asshole friend, I guess. And he's just there. So basically book 2's case file is that. And then Harvey basically steals the case file, not only steals the case file, puts his comments down, and basically makes a counterpoint saying, yeah, Dwight doesn't belong here. I agree, he just doesn't belong here. Fuck you. You're just basically that. And we basically see Dwight, and I don't know which version of Dwight is basically in a worse mental state. Book 2 Dwight or book 3 Dwight. Because book 2 Dwight's already depressed as shit because the girl that he liked left the school to a private school. So he's already like moping around because the girl he likes is just... She's gone, man. Like genuinely speaking. Like he's already in a slump. Bro lost everything. He didn't even fumble her. He got with her and danced with her, and it seemed like she liked him. But like, fuck Dwight, I guess. Bro can't be happy. And then he basically loses everything after what happens to him. The Dwight we see is basically a hollow shell. I mean, well then again, so is book 3 Dwight, but like in a different way. Book 2 Dwight's depressed and just hollow because he just lost everything. Like he was already a slump because of what happened. But then just everything else that happened just makes him even more of a slump. And his mom basically basically takes away everything for him. So, yeah. Basically, Tommy tries to get Dwight to get advice, and Yoda tells him, yeah, let Harvey win. Let him win. Forgive Harvey. It's like, no, fuck you. And I'm sorry I keep saying that word specifically, but that just best describes most of the interactions. Such as we shouldn't, and Yoda's like, oh yeah, you have to. So Dwight basically writes a letter and attaches Yoda there and basically tells Harvey, yeah, Harvey, you're right. Yoda is just paper. And Harvey basically is like a generational, like Harvey basically, I won. I did it. I proved to y'all that Yoda is a stupid piece of paper. It was all Dwight, except it wasn't. Because the school board meeting happened, and you think Harvey's going to do his dick move and be like, all right, time to pull off the finishing blow. Time to kill Dwight. Reputation. Except, in a shocking twist, Harvey doesn't. Harvey defends Dwight in the incident that got him in trouble and explained what Yoda meant. He basically redeemed Dwight. And Dwight's mom heard both Tommy's story and Dwight's story. Not Dwight's, but Harvey's story. And decided that her son is a good person. It's not the troublemaker that the school board sees him. Because he's got so many people that care for him and say, he's helped us. He shouldn't go just because of his actions. And Dwight's mom basically points out that the school system is failing her child, which is, kind of based for not getting him the help and just thinking he's a troublemaker. Sure, she's right. Dwight does do some fucked up stuff. But instead of the school board trying to get him help or trying to do something to help him, fuck it, just send him to ISS, do everything. In a weird way, though, book 2 is another one where it's like, if book 1 and book 2 were just there, if the series ended with book 2, I would have been fine with that. Because book 2 basically ends everything. Tommy is sort of with Sarah. Dwight is now going to the private school where the girl he really likes is at. And everything's been resolved. Everyone's happy. And then book 3 happens. Okay, I feel kind of mixed because of these 3, I don't hate book 3. But of the 3, I'd say book 3 is the least good because it doesn't really leave that feeling of, oh yeah, satisfactory. I know that book 2 does have don't worry, the story's going to keep on going. But that made me interested and petite because it's like, oh yeah, you know what? Everything's good. Where else can we go from here? I would argue and say that Darth Paper Strikes Back, book 2, is probably one of the best sequels ever. Not a perfect book. I do have my problems with it, like a lot of problems. But it's genuinely a really, really good book. Perfect sequel even. I wouldn't say book 3 is like a bad book. It's great. But of the 3, I'd say it's the weakest. And I know you could say, oh, well, book 1 is worst. Book 1 laid the foundation, and I'm willing to give it a pass. So it's about the fortune Wookiee. Or as I call it, Sarah gaslights everyone. Yeah, I'm just going to spoil the spoiler here if you haven't really read these books. But these books are like 10 years old, man. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. If you have not read one of these, and you found this video right now, you're probably an Origami Yoda fan. The algorithm recommended this video to you, and if that case, if you listened this far, thanks for listening this far, honest to God. I'm surprised. Really, I am. But also, it's like, the Fortune Wookiee was made by Sarah. So, here's the thing, though. So Sarah says, yeah, so Dwight made the Fortune Wookiee for me, and he made Han Foldo. Which is kind of cool, actually. I like that, honestly. Very, very good stuff. And we have to get and once again, a case file is made for studying the Fortune Wookiee and seeing how it works. And all the characters basically, it gives great advice, honestly. Of course, Han Foldo translates what Chewbacca says, and Sarah basically breaks it down. Now, why does it matter that Sarah made it? I mean, it shouldn't really matter, right? Except it kind of does, because the Fortune Wookiee not being made by Dwight means that it's not connected by the Force, nor that Origami Yoda told Dwight to make it, therefore has no Force magic. No, it just means that all the advice Sarah was giving was basically just her advice, what she thinks. And she just used the origami to get through it. Which is so weird, because, like, let's hypothetically say that Origami Yoda is Dwight. Alright, that this is all just Dwight. Dwight's putting up a front, Dwight's fucking with everyone, he's basically the genius mastermind that we don't think him as. Dwight does it because no one would really talk to Dwight normally and ask him for his advice. But they'll go to Origami Yoda. They'll come to Origami Yoda for their advice. And Dwight knows the answer, but he tells them with Origami Yoda. And even if Dwight doesn't like the person, Origami Yoda will still give him the advice. Which I think is really cool. Like in the first book, Quivando, hey, I think I got it right, basically is known as a Cheeto hog. Dwight hates him for that, but Yoda's like, nah, we're cool. Bring Cheetos for everyone. That'll fix everything. But then with Sarah, it's like, how about this? Where Dwight would totally let anyone ask Yoda a question, no matter how stupid it was, because Yoda will always help, Sarah basically said, yeah, only ask him really super duper important questions. Don't come to me with no bullshit questions. I will not be answering them. And Kellen does come with 2 bullshit questions, and sure enough, gets sent the fuck back by Sarah. The first one was like, should I get dreadlocks? Sarah's like, get out. Which, fair. And then the second one is like, so, Fortune Wookiee, what am I getting for Christmas? Are you serious? I mean, yeah. Like, so why does it matter for Sarah? Well, because Sarah has important questions, has the Fortune Wookiee answer it. And it's Sarah giving the advice. Which raises the question of, I mean, is it really Dwight? Even then, Sarah's advice is just as good. Okay, but look into the stuff of why I don't really like this one. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Gooply Fun's here. And we do know of his song, We Wish You a Merry Mucus. Honestly, peak song. It's on YouTube. Thank you very much, Mr. Gooply Fun. And now, where was I going with this again? I was going somewhere with like this big story. I was going to be like, oh yes, the main point, the moral of the story, the lights go off, the world flipped upside down. I bought the party to town. That's the wayside intro, nothing to do with Origami Yoda. Is that it's just Sarah. Which, it's no Dwight. Speaking of Dwight, we should probably check on him. And yeah, Dwight's masking. Like, it's so weird because Origami Yoda gave some of the best advice and it gets ignored. So let's talk about it. So Dwight goes to the new school and is basically welcomed. And it's like, hey, so we heard you can make good origami. Dwight's like, yeah, I'm not really allowed to make it here. My mom said no. And then it's like, no, that's fine. You can show it to us. And then he does. And then the rest of his class also make origami Yodas in the way following the instructions. Yeah, Dwight's welcomed at the school, but he's not really accepted or liked by the students. Like, even when he has like sagely advice as Yoda, and he does say something really good, the rest of the students say, that doesn't really help my problem. A lot of the time, Origami Yoda solutions aren't really what you want to do. They're the best advice you can do. Like, for example, in the story of Origami Yoda and the Brat, Origami Yoda basically tells Lance, teach the brat how to skate. Like, teach him how to skate. Don't Like, don't jump him, teach him how to skate. Or in the same way of the Origami Yoda and the smell, the one about the drama club smell. They don't assault, like, any spray or anything like that. They basically, like, he basically tells them, yeah, to get around the smell, don't tell her, just dress up in your suits early. If everyone smells, then she doesn't smell. So when they asked him, hey, Origami Yoda, I don't want to write complete sentences. What do I do? And Yoda says, keep writing the complete sentences. It'll build, like, keep writing them. Trust it. It'll be worth it. The guy's like, yeah, no, are you serious? No, that's not what I want to hear. And then the other kids put their Yodas and are like, yeah, you can just do this. And then someone else, you can do this too. And it basically ignores the purpose of Dwight. Which feels weird to say, honestly, because in a way, it sounds like I'm saying that Dwight only really matters because of Origami Yoda. When that's not true. Dwight is a great character. He's a great guy. I like Dwight. But they're an extension of each other. If you want Origami Yoda, you have to get to Dwight. It's kind of sad, actually, because Dwight's mom is also... She's a single mom. Dwight basically experienced a divorce, too. He lost his dog. I truly, truly don't know if Dwight is really at his best in book 3. And everyone wants him back because for the first time, they miss Dwight. And I think that's a really sweet way to potentially end a nice trilogy. And I think it would have been nice to just end it right there. Nice, simple 3-way trilogy. Except we don't get that because, so in one of the stories, we basically get build up to the next arc, the next saga, which is the test saga, as I'm going to call it, the fun saga. I don't know, I'll probably think of a better name. And that's one of my biggest gripes, is the fact that we can't really end it on this being a single individual book that can just end there and then we can build off the test saga. Or if they're going to do it, at least have it just be the letter and then just end it there and then just be like, is this the end? No, it's not. No, you don't do that. And it just builds up to it, which don't get me wrong, it does build up hype for the next book because it definitely feels like a series. Tom was definitely enjoying the series at this point, but I hated that so much. Like, this is building up to something else. It sort of undermines the sweet ending of, you know, Dwight having people that like him and accept him for who he is. Because Yoda is an extension of Dwight. And Dwight really is a neat guy. And seeing him mask through school, even if he's doing well, he's doing great. You can tell he's dying on the inside. I've had the mask a lot in my life, honestly. In fact, I still do it now. I'm not the person I want to be in front of my parents. Well, with my friends, I'm who I want to be. Dwight, I relate to him so much now. And I can appreciate Dwight as the autistic rep that he is. Flaws and all. And I guess this would be the end of the book 3 audio, of the audio for the first 3 books. But I kind of started to bring up R2-D2, honestly. Because he does matter for the sake of this story, honestly. The R2-D2 book is basically crafting stories, how to make your own origami, how to do a lot of that stuff, basically. It's much more the arts and crafts book. You know, books around the time where it's like, you doodle in the book, and you can't return it at your Sam's Club because it's like, you doodled in the book. Are you serious? Absolutely not. I wouldn't say that the R2-D2 books, and I'm saying art, like haha, drawing art, that the R2-D2 books were that good. I'd say that the Big Nate ones and that the Die Wimpy Kid ones were so much better. But I will say that every one of the books did basically have origami instructions, and they're always nice to read and do them. I can still do the 5 folds, actually. I'll probably put it somewhere in this video. Not even video, the audio. But in a way, though, this is a nice trilogy of books right here. And the next part of the saga is basically what I consider to be some of the best literature I read when I was in middle school. Now, upon retrospect, my current opinions on the books are, book 1 is great. I think it's a great start for the series, has a lot of potential to keep going. Book 2 is a perfect sequel, even if it has some flaws that I personally don't really like. And book 3 is good. Not bad. I personally don't like some things about it. I don't really like the whole, some parts of the file aren't here, but they're a part of the book. I personally didn't really like that, honestly. But also, Mr. Goodwin Fun's appearance wasn't even that good here, honestly, in book 3. Probably one of the lowest points of his thingy here. But seriously, if you're going to read the series, read it physically. Don't get the audiobook, even if the audiobook is really good. So seriously, I need to give credit to the audiobook people here, because it's a really, really good audiobook. Unironically, genuinely speaking. I'm using a free Audible trial to do this, honestly. So I'm just going to give a shout out, honestly, to the people here, honestly, So let me give a shout out to the voice actors here. So shout out to Julia Gibson, Jennifer Ikeda, Alaya Hahn, Jonathan Todd Ross, Mark Trudutsky, and Greg Steinbrenner. Unironically, you guys have some very good voices. I genuinely think my favorite voice of here is definitely going to be Mark. I really like Mark's voice. Tommy's voice is really good, honestly. I really like Tommy's voice. Lance's voice is something that grew on me. I didn't really imagine him as a surfer dude, but it works. I like Mike's voice too. Harvey doesn't sound the way I wanted him to, but a lot of the voices grew on me. I love Remy's voice actor, though. Unironically, Remy's voice actor did an amazing job, and that's forever going to be my headcanon voice for Remy now. Aside from that, I really do like the voice acting cast here. Y'all did really good, honestly. And shout out to the director as well for this. Unironically, you did great as well. Great voice directing. I'm pretty sure to you it doesn't matter all that much, but to me it does. You did a great job, honestly. But yeah, I'll see y'all for the next one, honestly, where I cover books 4, 5, and 6. But honestly, I'm going to say once again, read the physical books, because the audiobooks just don't do the justice of the doodles. I wish they did, though. Because, in book 2, there's one that was another hot date with Dwight. And that's, one of the funniest punchline jokes to end it on. I will definitely be using them, especially since book 5 is the only one with the doodles. I'm going to go so hard on that. So, I hope to see you all for the next one. Thanks for listening to me. And remember, may the Force be with you. God, that was corny as fuck.